and thank you for joining sessions number 3. This is really going to be a fun one today. We've entitled this one Backyard Paradise. And our special guest today, we have Ryan Sheely, who's a friend, client, and also the CEO of OC Pools and Spas. I left off an S.
Plural.
Plural. That means they do a whole lot more. So anyway, we're just going to be talking about transforming that backyard space, creating your own little resort in the backyard. And right now, let's just start with asking Ryan. Let's tell a little bit about yourself and your company, the background, and then we'll get to some more of the fun stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'm Ryan. I have been in construction straight out of high school a long time ago. I don't know if I should date it, but it's been a while. I started in the construction business. I started my own hardwood floor company back in the 90s. So I did that for 20 years or so. I grew up in construction. My dad was always in the pool business. Landscaping business, hardscape, all that stuff. So after 20 years of crawling around on my hands and knees, I was over it. I was done. My body was done. And so it just kind of worked out timing wise. My dad at the time was just in the infancy of starting OC Pools and Spas. And he said, well, why don't you do this with me? I said, well, okay. I know a lot about construction, but pools is a little bit different, but it's still kind of under obviously the same umbrella. So we just hit the ground running in 2018. It's been under his license since '82. So he's been the license of the company has been around for over 40 years. So we hit the ground running in '82, and we've just grown the company year over year since the 7 years I've been here. And yeah, we just, probably my favorite part about it is the good people you meet doing it and making them happy. And we still talk to them this day and still friends. And, they invite us over into the pool, long after we build it. So that's probably my favorite part. But yeah, I've been doing this all my life. There was all my friends went to college and I went to work. So I've been doing it since I was 18.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And yeah, I guess the real fun part is people are getting into this because as far as when they call you, they've got a big dream, So kind of walk me through what that little process goes from, like when someone calls me and says, I want a resort in the backyard. So how does that conversation?
Yeah. Well, it's twofold, really. There's two parts of our business. We can pick which one to talk about. One is they already have a pool, and it's from the 1970s. It's all dilapidated. It's out of style, and they call us to just completely give it a facelift. Or there's someone who's got a house, or they've been thinking about it a while. Maybe there was a pandemic, and they decided to build a pool. So they don't know. And a lot of times in Orange County, that's a lot of tract homes. There's only so much space. We don't have big Texas properties everywhere. I mean, so a lot of times people, can I do it? How is this going to look? So when they start fresh, what we do is we come in, we measure the property, survey the property, we get their vision, and we put everything in a 3D rendering for them down to the inch so they could see how it's going to fit in their space, in their backyard. And really, we design everything, but we tell them it's their design. So we just,
of course,
we run with their ideas and make a design. And then we sit down with the client, and in real time, they can make all the changes they want. Hey, move it over here, move the spa over here, add this tile, add that plaster. So it's nowadays it's more of a, it's immersive experience for the client to be able to be a part of it rather than back in the day, it's just a 2D drawing on
Uh-huh.
a piece of paper. They can't really vision it. So the 3D renderings really helps it out and it makes it fun for the client for sure.
That sound fun. Uh, so who you usually are people designing or creating these backyard spaces? Do you find it more for themselves, for their own relaxation, or for entertaining, or is it a nice little mix of both?
Um, we try to, I mean, it's a mix of both. I mean, sometimes people just want a spa just for therapy, and they don't care about all, bells and whistles. Sometimes, we try to let them know if they give us a budget, like, hey, you can actually have these other things too. If you want a fire pit, it's not going to kill your budget. You know, we try to work, usually people have a number in mind and we try to hit that, number and give them everything they want. But typically, if you're putting a pool in, that's entertainment, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, it's therapeutic stuff. We're just building one right now in Newport. The guy just wants a lap pool for exercise. Doesn't care about anything else. So it's like, yeah, we'll build that too. But
Okay.
then some people want the Taj Mahal. So every client is unique, which makes it also enjoyable because you're not a robot here. Every job's different. But I would say, you know, being in Orange County here, our bread and butter is really the family. They're building it for, their kids, their grandkids, and to just enjoy that whole space rather than just a big piece of concrete and a lawn.
We see a lot of those, and yeah,
Yes, we do.
just the difference over the years. And I guess for me, growing up on the East Coast, I didn't, it was very different coming out here where we have 300 days of sunshine and the weather is really nice. The backyard is almost becoming just as important as the inside space. So with saying that, what is one feature, cool or not, that someone should do or could do to enhance their space? And are you getting calls from people to just do a landscape design to without a pool? Does that happen?
We can. Obviously, we're OC pools and spas,
Right.
so people are calling us for that. But a lot of times, people, while we're doing it, well, hey, can you do our driveway? Can you do, we can do everything. So, I mean, if you're not doing a pool, it just depends on the client. Do you want maintenance? Some people don't want the maintenance of a lawn, and so okay, let's do some pavers. Let's do a nice artificial turf, as is super popular
Mm-hmm.
right now around here. So there's so many different things, and there's a lot of people don't realize, there are things they can fit in their budget.
Right.
It's not $300,000. Oh, a pool's gonna cost, it's gonna break us. So there are ways to do it, that looks clean and modern that aren't gonna break the bank as well.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the trends then that you're seeing now? Have things changed from like when your dad started the business and you said in 82
Yeah.
and then now, what are some of the biggest changes that he's seen? And even with your 7 years at the helm.
Well, I would say technology for one. Pools now are all automated. You can control everything through your phone. So that's a big thing as far as the ease of it. As far as design, that's always going to change every 10, 15 years. When I was a kid back in the 80s, everything was brick, everything was salt finish, pitted concrete, and white plaster. And
Yeah.
the pools were always 10 to 12 feet deep.
Yes.
I mean, I remember as a kid jumping in, the deep end was freezing, and your ears would pop going down there.
Yeah,
Nowadays, we rarely go deeper than 6 feet.
yeah.
Nobody wants it anymore. Nobody has the blue slides or the diving boards anymore. It's more, pools now are more of just a hangout rather than, diving and jumping off the patio cover, which I don't condone. May or may not have done that when I was a kid. But yeah, it's always changing. And the biggest thing, it was always just smooth white plaster.
Uh,
Now you have pebble finishes in the pool. Um, I would say, and you don't see a lot of rock. We build a lot of waterfalls and rock formations, but that's not as popular as it used to be. But I think it's coming back now.
really?
I would say 5, 10 years ago, everyone was trying to go mid-century modern and just clean lines, grays, the concrete squares with grass in between them, which is a great look when we did a ton of those, but you see now that's shifting. So I like to recommend to people to not to go one extreme to the next. Try to, pick something that's going to be timeless, and you're not going to change your mind 7, 8, 10 years down the road, like, oh, and they're just kind of, when trends change, they don't feel like they're stuck with it per se. But
Yeah,
yeah, things are always evolving, always changing. So that's what makes this industry another, exciting thing to be a part of as well. So we'll
yeah.
see where it goes next.
That's true. Yeah, it's funny on the what you're speaking of, especially with the depths. Um, like when we were putting our pool in, we were like, oh yeah, we want 7 feet. And when they're
Right.
excavating, he just looked, he's like, are you sure we can go? It's just one more foot. It's another 10 minutes of digging. And then we kind of thought about it, and it's like, you know what? Well, we'll stick with 6. And we're so happy we did that because you
Right.
can kind of tippy toe all throughout,
Yeah.
at least I can. And again, even at 7 feet, you're not really diving in anyway. So what do you need?
Right.
What do you need to go down? And with that limited space, the slope just so
Right. It just drops off like a cliff. You don't have shallow end to hang out in. And what's odd too, which uh, I'm not a geologist, but all those pools back in the day were so deep. And you and I are in Huntington Beach and Westminster, Newport Beach, Garden Grove, all that area. I don't know how they did it back in the day because at about 6 feet in these areas, we hit water. We hit the water
oh
table.
yeah,
So I don't know if things change over time because there's a whole underwater ocean beneath us.
yeah,
That nobody realizes your house is built on 6 feet below you. There's water.
yeah,
So I mean, we can go, you can keep digging, but typically when we hit water, we say, look, that's going to do it. That's about it.
yeah,
So, um, yeah, but that part is just crazy to me because, and then you can go one neighborhood over and the water's not there.
yeah,
So it's weird. There's like underground tributaries going everywhere. So we like to keep it up 5.5, 6 feet, and the client is
yeah,
always happy with that. I mean,
yeah.
as you said, you're glad you did that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know that later on that's going to be a regret, and they're not going to be blaming you, of course, but at the same
Well,
time,
and nowadays, and it wasn't like this back in the day. I don't know if you put one in, but I would say 80% of our pools they put the big Baja shelf, which is
yeah,
that seating shelf. So that sucks up a lot of your shallow end.
yes,
So that's a big reason why too that they don't put a deeper pool in because you're running out of room in the yard in these tract
yeah.
homes in Orange County. Did you put
That
a
that
Baja in? I think you said you
we
put
have a
steps in, right?
we put a Baja, and
We did.
we we asked for it to be about 4 feet longer, and when we came back and the rebar was
Oh,
short.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's a
then
happy mistake, right?
it was a happy mistake, and I
Yeah.
told my wife, I was like, I think they did that on purpose. And after we kind of measured and looked, it's like, yeah, that would have sucked. That would have taken,
Yeah.
all this extra spot. So,
Right.
um, we appreciate you guys
Well,
steering us in the right
if you
direction.
would have bought the 30,000 square foot lot, you could have
Oh yeah,
got
then
the bigger pool. So
of course that's true. Uh, so then let's talk about like the cost and planning. So how are people doing? Are people paying cash? Are they financing? And what are they? What's a budget coming with when somebody comes to you? Okay, we want to pull in. We've saved this much, and
Mhm.
then you're just trying to tie it all in together.
Well, it's like when you buy a car, if you go in with, say, I got $10,000, I'm going to buy a car. Well, you know, you still get a car, but it might get you there, but you know, what do you want? So typically it's tough because speaking of things that change in the industry, COVID flipped everything upside down.
Yeah,
Um, as everyone knows, with materials, costs of everything, ever since, and it's never come back down. It's never going to. Um, so we used to be able to get a permit the same day.
yeah,
Now it's 2 to 6 months ever since COVID.
yeah.
Um,
Wow.
and so that's, as far as people planning, as their planning goes, okay, we're ready to sign on the dotted line. Let's go. And it's like, you got to realize it. And we hate it as much as they do. We want to get to
Of
work.
course.
So, and so people will call us and, we'll talk, okay, what's your name? What's your budget? Well, my friend had his pool done in 1994 and it was about 22,000. And, you got to kind of massage and break it to them. Yeah, it's, these days, unfortunately, we can't do it for that. I mean,
Oh gosh, yeah.
that hardly pays for the equipment. So a good entry number to get a pool, entry level package at least 120,
Hmm.
120,000. I'd say the average we're doing right now is between 150 and two. Um, but that, like a car, just
Yeah.
depends. Do you want all the add-ons? Do you want the bells and whistles? And
Uh-huh.
you ask the people, do you want the pebble? Do you want automation? Do you want this tile? It just depends on materials. But if someone's like, hey, I just want a nice pool, a little bit of decking, nothing crazy, just something to enjoy, then it can be a lot more affordable.
Hmm.
So 100K could get you in and out, and maybe even less, depending on what they omit and they say, nah, we don't need that. So it really depends on the client and what they're willing to spend. And I would say most of the clients, I mean, it's not as good as it used to be with the HELOCs. I mean,
Uh-huh.
and all the refis that were going on during COVID when interest rates were, so everyone just was just shelling it out, So,
Yeah.
but typically I would say that's about 30% finance it.
Mhm.
And the rest they have, the cash on hand.
Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting because when we got ours after COVID, we were priced in 2021, like what was it, February? And by the time we were towards the end of the project, we got the permit really fast. Again, we hit it at that sweet spot.
Yeah, yeah,
And and by August, the contractor said, your pool right now is about 40% more.
yeah,
And we were already in it. So even some of the cost moved on them, but at that point we'd already signed a contract. So
right.
that
Yeah,
was
that was an interesting time,
Mhm.
It was tough because there were so many delays in the industry. I mean, you couldn't even get plywood. A sheet of plywood was like, I mean, before COVID was like $9. And then
Yes.
during that time it got up to like $120 just for a sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
And nobody had it. You couldn't get heaters, you couldn't get pumps, you couldn't get any of this stuff. And there were all these delays. And that was tough on the people in our industry because, like you said, we want to honor our contract, but
Of
no one
course.
could have foreseen uh, what was
Yeah.
gonna happen. Um, and yeah, we took it on the chin of a few places, but and there were a lot of cool clients that were like, "Hey, I get it. This
Yeah.
is unforeseen, act of God. Let's work together through this." So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was an interesting time, but all in all, that the whole COVID thing was actually really good for this industry.
Yeah. I think it helped it helped temporarily too, the RV people too. Um, they were selling the RVs.
Well, it
That's
didn't help
another
for me.
session. Yeah.
I already had an RV and it was
Yeah, we
nice. And
already
then
had
all
an
of a
RV
sudden,
too.
everybody got one. I'm like, wait, I can't get into campgrounds now because everybody got one. But yeah, I mean,
That's
for
true.
sure, it was a crazy time. But yeah, I would say that, our business really exploded then.
Hmm.
And we've been able to maintain and even, grow a lot more since then. So we've been
Very
really
good.
blessed and we have a good team around us and just great vendors, great subs, and everyone we work with is just on the up and up. So it's been, just a great experience ever since then.
Very good. I'm
Yeah,
going to
for
do
sure.
something here. I'm going to go to your website and look at the portfolio page so you can
Okay.
show us some of these beautiful designs here. So, talk about some of these projects. How about let's start with this one right here.
Yeah, that is a model home, actually.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, a big old company called Tri-Point Homes.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have heard of them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they contracted us. We did two of the models there. We do a lot of their they have like condo communities. We do their community pools.
Okay.
But this was, yeah, a model home out in Silverado Canyon. Um, yeah, that was a fun build. I mean, it was a
I'm
wide open
sure
space.
because they really wanted to, impress the potential buyer.
Yeah, exactly,
And
because they weren't on necessarily a family budget. They could do a wow factor here because
yeah,
um so that was definitely a fun one. We
uh,
got it's a lot bigger than it looks in that photo too. That thing was huge.
I'm sure. So just for fun, if I wanted a background, well, my lot's only 6,000 square feet, but for someone that had this kind of space, what are they looking at as a budget for something like
Oh gosh. I don't know if you can see in the back of the picture the other end of the pool, but that's actually a sunken hangout fire
that? Oh
pit
gosh,
area
right.
down there.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pushing like this was I think 21. It was
Hmm.
right around the COVID. So this would probably be about 400 to $500,000.
Just money.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is.
Yeah, that turned out.
Now this looks like
That's the one next door. So
oh
you
that
see the one,
okay.
yeah, you see the one above it, that's the big pool. And this one,
Oh yeah. So
this
this
model
is
had just a spa. Yeah.
okay. So that's a nice option for somebody. It's like, okay, we don't have kids, we just want the spa for the evening,
Yeah.
glass of wine and a nice little
We do
barbecue.
that. Yeah, we do a lot of that. They just want the spa.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to take up all the space with the pool. Like I said, a lot of people are therapy. They just want a spa, and so that's kind of why these two model homes kind of showcase the yin and yang, what you could have.
That's
Um,
great.
we always joked, we're like, man, whoever buys these models, one of them's getting a good pool.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of times they're, because they don't
Yeah,
have to deal with the construction themselves and it's already done and it just looks beautiful. Let's go. Here's now this is something that would be like in the back and like our neighborhood, you know.
yeah, sure.
And that's beautiful.
This was a house in Santa Ana.
Okay.
The pool was already there.
Okay.
Uh, we added the spa, so we do a lot of that. These old pools that we grew up in the 80s, they were just pools.
Right.
So, the kids have inherited them now. and now they want a spa.
Yeah.
So we're you can see it's kind of a black bottom. There's a black, pebble
Oh, I
um,
see. Yeah.
finish to it, and we added the spa, and we do a lot. That's a big portion of our business in the remodeling side of it and adding a spa to it. So
Yeah. And the time constraints on that is nice. And then the people already probably have a good idea of what they want. So those are
exactly.
probably,
Yep.
pretty good projects to have. Let's see now this is nice right here. So this one I don't see any pool or anything. Did you just do a design here for just like the fire pit area, or was there a pool associated with this?
To the left of that is a raised spa.
Okay.
You can't, to the left of that property,
Oh, that
but
you just dropped in.
yeah, just that picture is just of the fire pit and the concrete seating bench area we built.
That's pretty nice.
There's also a putting green out over there. So that was a small space too, but they were able to fit, an area for a fire pit. They had a spa to
Mhm.
the left, and then to the right, he added a putting green. So there's all sorts of ways to. Uh, I can't tell you how many times people go. They call us and go, "We want a pool, but we don't think it'll fit." And then we give them a design. They're like, "Whoa, it fits
You're like,
perfect."
oh, we still have a nice outdoor space where we have that indoor outdoor living
Yeah,
without
exactly.
oh, let's see. Oh, there you go. Here's something.
There's some rock features and water slides.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I should say, I mean, it's still popular, it's just not as common to do them. I think
Yeah.
that has to do a lot with the material costs are so high now.
Yeah.
So that's just all it comes down to. I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone who swims in a pool like that loves it.
Yeah, of course. That looks fun.
As long as you don't have to pay for it yourself. But yeah, if you
That's
can do it,
true.
and if you want it, we can build it.
Okay, we'll do this last one here because we're kind of
Yep.
getting close. Now this looks, wow, what's happening there?
Yeah, those are called floating pads, even though they're not floating. A lot of people like that look. There's still water in between it. You can go around the corner. There's a spa around there, and
Yeah.
so again, those are the bells and whistles we talked about. You can have like that pool in Santa Ana and just add a spa, and it looks amazing. Or some people have expensive taste, and that's stuff they
Uh-huh.
want, and we're happy to accommodate that too. Just depends on the person. So we're happy to build. It's their dream. It's really their vision. We kind of nudge it along a little with our ideas,
Uh-huh.
but we want it to be theirs, and they take ownership of it, and they feel like, hey, this is mine, and this is my design, this is my vision, and we just try to bring it to life for them.
Very good. I'm going to put let's build a pool. If anyone wants to get that information here, there's your phone number there. And
Yep.
we'll post this again on those that watch this afterwards. But
Yeah, and you can see more photos on Instagram. We have an Instagram page as well. So
okay,
yeah.
very good. We'll put all that good stuff there. Well, this was a lot of fun. You know,
Well, I thought we were gonna keep going. I thought
we can keep going. We got about another minute left.
some of us have to work, right?
Some of us have to work
Yeah.
to pay for our pools.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
get back to work, you.
Right on. Back to work and I'll keep selling houses and hopefully um bring you some people that want some pools too.
Love it.
Love it. All
All
right,
right.
everyone.
Well,
Well, thanks again, Ryan. And this is
okay. Happy
Thank
Wednesday.
you so
Happy
much. Happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And
Okay.
we'll
Take
see you
care,
on the
guys.
next sessions.
All right, my man.
All right.
Be
Bye-bye.
well.
Bye.